when you're really doing charity, right? What's charity actually about? It's about the other person, right? It's not about what anybody else might look at you and think about, right? The spectators looking and doing the theorein, right? It's not about that, right? It's about the person in front of you and what that person needs. And sometimes doing good to that person, right? The spectator might think of you as actually a very nasty, ugly person. I mean, we talked a couple of weeks ago about like, the kind of love that obtains within a society in order for it to function, right? And showing love to your fellow citizens sometimes means, right, closing down your borders and things like that, which other people might condemn as nasty and call nasty, right? But if you're really thinking about what's best for the person you're trying to benefit, right, you're not actually thinking about this other outside observer, about the outside show. And so suddenly this loss of self-observation comes in, because if I'm thinking about what you're going to theorein, right? What you're going to see, then I'm inherently turning my gaze back upon myself, right? I'm looking at me and I'm saying, what do I look like to that guy? And what's he going to consider and contemplate and theorize about my motives and my desires and me, right? Always looking inward at me and thinking about what that guy is seeing from the outside. When I'm really doing charity, right, I engage in a kind of forgetfulness of self, right? And so the left hand does not know what the right hand is doing. I'm no longer even thinking about what it looks like, right? It might not even be visible, right? So I'm not doing it, and it becomes therefore encrypto, right? It becomes an inward attitude, and that is what God blepe. That is what he looks right at, right? He sees, his vision is of a kind that is so pure and entire and direct that he looks at the things that we can only see mediated through a glass darkly, right? We've talked about this all the time, that like we have this kind of mediated relationship with reality that comes to us through our senses. And what the scripture is effectively saying here is that God's sight, that our physical sight is like a kind of, derivative or an analog for the kind of sight that God has, which is direct perception, blepo, right? To see right into the thing that you can't see when you're really doing it, right? Because when you're really doing it, you're not inwardly focused, right? And so God, who sees you in secret, will reward you publicly, right? Reward you openly.